Whenever we see or hear a recording of ourselves, it tends to be unsettling, uncomfortable. Why is that? Beyond regretting that haircut or those poor fashion choices, I think it's because it's revealing. The recording tells us some truth about ourselves that we don't often see or think about. It shows us what we're actually doing, objectively. And there's something very powerful about that when it comes to improving any behavioral skill. If we want to become better at the things that are important to us, we've got to examine them. We need to see the truth, to reflect on our performance and to set goals to become better. Do you think that there is a high school football team anywhere in America that doesn't study video? I doubt it. Every one of those teams knows that video analysis is an essential tool to improving their performance. So they watch great teams make great plays, and they watch themselves to see what they did well and how they can improve. And just like football, teaching is a performance. It's a plan that's being executed in real time with quick decisions coordinated within a large team. And just like football players, teachers can also improve their performance by studying video. Well, you said like 3 times, so work on that. All right. Okay. Yeah. And that's what we do at Iris Connect. Since 2007, we've been developing technology and tools that help teachers reflect on the teaching and learning that's happening in their classrooms, to identify their goals, and to get better. After working with more than 100,000 teachers in 40 countries, we're confident that every teacher should be using video as part of their professional development. In this masterclass, we're going to share an overview of how teachers are using video to improve their teaching. We're going to highlight some of the key ways that they're using video, and then give you some tips and point out some of the pitfalls to avoid. Good job. Well done. Thank you. High five. Our goal at Iris Connect is to enable effective professional development for teachers. And the research is clear. Good PD requires a variety of learning activities. If a teacher does all of them, then we're confident that the skills that they're learning will actually change how they teach. The problem is that some of these activities are really hard to achieve in schools.
A lot of the typical PD I've had has been very idea-based, but there hasn't been a lot of implementation or relevance in it. You spend one day in a separated area learning about some new strategy or some new curriculum or things that you need to implement, but it's very separated from the real world.
So we're going to show you how we use technology to overcome these barriers to give teachers access to all of the activities that make PD effective. When we're learning something new, it's important to understand the underlying theory and research. For example, if we want to improve our formative assessment, it's useful to know that the research shows a direct relationship between student outcomes and teaching that includes a dialogue with students. It's this dialogue that makes students' thinking visible to teachers so that they can assess their understanding and provide them with feedback. Now, to give teachers access to this kind of theory, we've built an online course tool into our web platform. The schools that use our platform can create their own courses using this tool with their own content, or they can dive right into the content that we provide. Once we understand the theory behind a new instructional practice, it's helpful to see a model of it. What does it look like when it's done really well? We've created an app that makes it easy for teachers to record their classrooms. You can use your own mobile device, or you can use one of our camera kits, which provides multiple camera angles and multiple audio channels to capture everything happening in the classroom. And if you're distance teaching, then we've got that covered too. We have a screen capture tool as well as video conferencing tools built into our platform. After teachers record their instruction, it's automatically uploaded to the cloud, where it can be shared with others. But only if you choose to share. Teachers are always in control of their videos, and only they can decide who sees them. Expert teachers can also annotate their lessons, providing time-linked notes that explain in detail what they're thinking and what they're doing. And together, these video models with these annotations make a powerful learning resource that can benefit many teachers for years to come. So after learning the theory and seeing models of how it's done well, a great next step is self-reflection. Now, not all teachers are going to be ready to share their videos right away.
I didn't want to do the videos. Didn't want to use the camera. Wasn't going to. I'm going to teach one more year. I said, I don't want to learn anything new. No, thank you.
But they can still benefit from studying their own performance privately. Teachers rarely get to see themselves teach. And when they do, They often have an epiphany. They say things like, I didn't know I was doing that, and I'm going to change that tomorrow.
And I watched the first couple videos and I thought, wow, I did learn a lot from doing this.
So with the underlying theory and a model to look at, they've got something to compare their own performance to. They can begin making a plan for how they want to change. They can develop a hypothesis about their own classroom. They can say, I think if I make this change, then this will happen.
I could really see this as a tool that you would use frequently in your classroom. Just for yourself, even if you never shared it with anybody else.
The number one benefit, I think, is personal reflection. We get so involved in all of the planning and just the minutia of like day-to-day, what do I need to do in the classroom? With this set into our professional development, what we've been doing is having basically time to reflect on our teaching and improve ourselves and our own pedagogy.
Before watching a video, always establish a clear purpose. What are your goals, and what specifically will you be looking for in the teaching and the learning? If you aren't clear about this, you might focus on the superficial details that can waste precious time and actually be counterproductive. Plan ahead and clearly know your purpose before you push play. If you're serious about getting better, you need to be serious about collecting data. Once you're clear about the changes that you want to make, it's important to measure them. These data will tell you where you're at, where you're going, and the progress that you're making along the way.
The feedback is instantaneous. You can see then and there the evidence of the lesson, and you can go back straight away and pinpoint the key parts. It's no longer a case of just having one person's perception of the lesson. You can see clear visual evidence there about what happened in the lesson and highlight the key parts, whether it be good or bad. And I think it gives a real honest account of my teaching.
Teachers often get feedback like, you're not asking enough open-ended questions, or you're not giving enough wait time. Well, how many is not enough? It feels like enough. And how long am I actually waiting? It seems like I'm waiting a really long time. Teaching is more than a craft. It's a science. And it's time to move beyond vague feelings. It's time to use facts and numbers.
If I take a really great video and I'm really proud of it, I can also then submit it as evidence for my evaluation system to our assistant principal, which really is helpful because principals can't be everywhere, and being able to share that great learning, I think, really helps support us.
The tools that we provide teachers allows them to become action researchers, collecting real data about the teaching and learning in their classrooms. Our platform provides tools that enables teachers to quickly measure what matters. They can create observation rubrics with counters, timers, and rating scales to measure and quantify what's happening. All of these data link back to specific moments in the video.
Being able to pause and reflect and take ownership for my own instruction has been extremely powerful. Being able just to reflect on student engagement. Am I calling on more male or female students? Am I calling on one student too often? What are my strengths? And then where are those areas where I can still do even better to meet those students' needs?
When teachers watch models and self-reflect, then the benefits of using video become really obvious. And that usually makes teachers willing and excited to share their videos with others, like a near peer or in their professional learning community.
I have total control of who I want to share it with. So it hasn't been shown to the entire staff, but with my own PLC or my own certain group of teachers, we can look at it as a small group that I feel safe in and that I know they're not going to judge me because these are colleagues that I trust.
Self-reflection is great, but we can't escape our own biases, and we don't know what we don't know, you know? So getting feedback from colleagues is a really powerful way to improve teaching and learning, but also creates collaborative relationships within a school. And research shows that when teachers have more of these kinds of relationships, then their students have more positive outcomes. Now, feedback can come in a variety of forms. First, there's time-linked comments that are linking to specific moments in the video. They allow you to provide feedback whenever your schedule allows. Observation rubrics allow the feedback to be specific and quantitative. And then sometimes you just need to sit down together and watch the video at the same time and have a conversation.
What we do is all the science teachers meet together once a week. We're all using the video technology. It's allowed us to get a little deeper in our discussions about the content of what we're actually implementing in our classrooms and being more intentional about making those adjustments.
They are able to upload it into the cloud platform. They choose who they're going to share it with, and how they are going to share it. If they would like to seek support from an instructional coach or from their peers, they can share it with that individual, get their feedback, and then take the video back away if that's what they wanted to do.
We expect students to collaborate and to give themselves and each other feedback, but a lot of times as teachers, we don't want that same public display. So if our students can do it, why can't we?
A good format for video collaboration in a professional learning community is called Grow and Show. To each meeting, each participant brings two 2-minute video clips. The Iris Connect platform makes it easy to edit longer videos down into these short clips. The Grow clip captures something that you struggled with and that you could use some advice from your colleagues about. The Show clip highlights something that went really well and that maybe your peers could learn from. Celebrate and share your successes. One of the most effective ways to improve, of course, is to work with a coach. A coach can provide a teacher with individualized feedback that's designed to help them work towards their specific goals. The problem with coaches is that there's far too few of them, and the teachers that they work with can be spread over huge geographic areas, so some coaches have to drive for hours to get to the teachers that they serve. This makes providing observation and feedback really difficult. Also, in-person observation can be really disruptive and intimidating.
It's made my coach way more accessible because like any good coach, she's pulled in a million different directions.
I have been able to be in multiple rooms at the same time without actually being there.
Iris Connect allows coaching programs to be dramatically more effective and efficient. A coach can provide specific, objective feedback to many teachers across a huge geographic area without ever leaving their office. And the feedback is more effective because it's embedded directly into the video.
When I sit down with an instructional coach to have that coaching conversation, I don't have to worry about her having to have been in my classroom to have seen the interaction with the students or the strategy I'm trying to implement. She can see that on the video, or we can look at the video together and go from there.
Video fundamentally changes teacher professional development. It overcomes the challenges of limited time, conflicting schedules, and distance. It allows educators to be precise, specific, and quantitative about studying their instruction. But most importantly, this technology allows teachers to see models of what great teaching looks like. Teaching is so isolating, most teachers rarely get to see other teachers even work.
Using something like Iris has helped to make our PD time actually focus on relevant things that we're doing in the classroom right now, or practices that I myself want to focus on. So it's just been bringing it home so that we're using that time more efficiently and wisely on things that matter and can change tomorrow.
Video enables teachers to practice new methods for themselves and then to get feedback from their colleagues and from coaches. Our most important asset in education is the experience and wisdom of our teaching staff. Video provides additional opportunities to leverage that expertise.
I don't think it matters where you are in your career, if you're a first-year teacher or a 30-year teacher, or like me, I'm 16 years in. There's something that you always can learn, and there's lots of different ways to learn it. And the cameras have been a great way for me to learn using some protocols just by myself when nobody else is around, but they've also been very powerful when I'm using them with other people.
This has probably been one of the most meaningful and relevant tools that we have used to really reflect and improve our teaching practices.
And that brings us to the end of our masterclass. Thanks for your time and your attention. There's a lot more to discuss, so if you ever have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Hey, you did all right. Good work. Thanks. Sorry I snipped at you earlier. No worries. Taking feedback can be tough. We make a good team though, don't we? Yes, we do. Cheers.